Nick, let's start off with that comment first, targeting, of course, what the ANC hasn't done in Alexandra.
I'm making special mention of the ANC Treasurer General Paul Mashatile, who at some point in his political career, some may argue even now he has to answer allegations of being as part of a so-called Alex Mafia, and essentially saying that up until this point in time, there's been no change in Alex because quite simply the politicians that have been in charge, the ANC and of course also the DA as of late, even though they have been empowered by the EFF, the EFF argues that they've done absolutely nothing for the residents of that township that's next to Sandton.
Yeah. So what else is the EFF saying apart from picking on the ANC and Democratic Alliance?
Well, we'll get to what they had to say about the coalition, their coalition plans that they're going to have after May the 8th, should they be approached for one. But he also made very special mention of workers' rights, it being a May Day rally. I mean, the EFF doesn't necessarily go out as much as it did today on May the 1st, but with it being less than a week to elections, I suppose it's to be expected. And he spoke about making the economy more inclusive, specifically by allowing workers to share in their spoils and to ensure that investors and people with money, white people in his eyes, need to stop being so greedy. Let's hear what he had to say.
No longer going to be exploited anymore. We are not saying we want shares and not work. We want shares and remain workers. We will work and earn a salary. On top of our salary, we will get dividends. That's how we are going to share the wealth of South Africa. Ungasabi. This is our economy. We must tell them what we want with our economy. There is no Chinese who's going to be chased away. The same thing with white people. Let us share.
Let us share. So talking about sharing, let's talk about what he had to say about coalitions and coalition governments.
Well, you know, the EFF tries to paint itself as not having entered into a coalition, entered into a governing agreement. In other words, empowering the DA in the two municipalities of Tshwane and Johannesburg. And it says that this time around, the national election, they will not be playing second fiddle to anyone, even if they come asking the EFF for votes. They're not going to empower any political party that doesn't have the best interests of their supporters at heart. And he actually made a point of saying that before the ANC or the DA can even come to the table and discuss coalitions, the EFF will be demanding that where the ANC or the DA rule from a local government point of a local governance standpoint, they need to clean and quite literally pick up the litter and quote unquote clean up after black people to show that you actually care about the people that vote for you. So, I mean, he's not necessarily setting out a stall with 7 days to go. And like it's always said, Shahan, a week is a very, very long time in politics. And we're going to see in the days after the election, if it does end up seeing a hung government at a provincial level or confounding the critics at a national level, highly unlikely at this stage it may be, the EFF is going to be playing a big role in that. And it's trying to set out strategically at this point in time that it won't be an easy customer to deal with, that it will have its own demands and its own principles that it keeps to.
It's interesting that they say this, and I guess it's just politicking, because in our town hall debates, Nick, when you asked the EFF about why they supported the Democratic Alliance, the answer was, well, we needed to show the ANC something and get them out of power. Now, though, they're willing to play with both sides, either sides, if they do what the EFF wants.
We also have to look at the future of the EFF in relation to Julius Malema and possibly the cooling of animosity between him and his former comrades in the ANC. Much was made of Ace Magashule saying that he loves Julius and would like to see him back in the ANC. But both David Mabuza and Cyril Ramaphosa, the president and his deputy, have at some point said that they want the EFF back in the ANC. So this sort of two-nodring that is maybe being set the scene for could see possibly not only the EFF heading into a coalition, but who knows? There's analysts that argue that if the EFF doesn't double its support from the million votes that it got in 2014, Julius Malema may well be looking around on May the 9th and wondering where his political future lies.
All right, thanks so much for that. Appreciate it. That, of course, is Nicolaas Bauer following the EFF rally that was held in Alexandra.